Hello, my name's John Bachman from Mystery Ranch Backpacks here in Bozeman, Montana. And today I'm here to be a participant in Carryology's Maker's Mystery Box. I started at the Mystery Ranch about 14 years ago on the production floor and gradually worked my way up to being a mission designer. Here at the Mystery Ranch, we build gear for the toughest users in the toughest environments. I mainly work with wildland firefighters and the military communities. I'm here today to open a box of mystery materials, design, pattern, and build a functional first prototype in 24 hours. So let's get started.
All right, here we have my mystery box from Terre Industries. Hopefully there's not too many curveballs, so let's see what we got. Here we go. My old friend, 1680 Cordura, TPU ripstop, and a 210 denier, 1000 denier, in black. Different grid patterns on some of these.
This is a lot of fabric. Stretch woven, another stretch. So although I haven't worked with these specific materials, I'm familiar with them. Oh boy, throw in some color. Another 1000 denier. Color is my enemy. And here's something, carbonate. I think we do use this on some of our bags around here. I've never quite worked with it. 14 fabrics, 14 different materials. I'm planning on working on a everyday carry backpack, so a little bit smaller. Plan on using as many materials as possible. Typically when I'm building a personal backpack, I may use maybe 2 colors on the outside, and then a mix of a stretch woven meshes and 200 denier on the inside. I'm excited about the color. As a mission designer, I'm not used to having color. All the backpacks that I work on are in multicam, coyote, and black. At this time, I don't know how I'm going to use all of these materials. I have some ideas, but I'd like to get started. And while I'm designing and patterning, I can figure it out.
Traditional pattern work for backpacks was done with oak tag, basically manila folder material and some scissors. Since that time, we've purchased a couple of softwares, one 3D, one 2D, which kind of takes it to the next level into the digital age. Today, I'm starting out in a 3D modeling software called Rhino. It helps me to visualize a little bit better the overall shaping of the backpack. It's just kind of mesmerizing, moving things around and kind of thinking about your seams at the same time. If everything goes right, it saves quite a bit of time. Created some curves to kind of act as a skeleton for a surface that I'm trying to create. And if this works, we're gonna find out. So that's kind of the shaping that I'm going for this backpack. All right, so now that I have that surface created, now it's time to kind of figure out where I'm going with this. I'm not going to be doing a 3-zip today. I just think it's a little bit more complex. Wouldn't be able to get it completed in 24 hours. I will be using the Futura yoke because that is part of the Mystery Ranch's heritage and I want to honor that. On top of that, I've built several personal bags with fixed harnessing, and in general, I like the comfort of the yoke no matter how small the bag is. So as far as feature set, I'm thinking a zippered top open, like a U-zip. It accesses the main compartment, and probably also on the inside, thinking of putting in a computer sleeve. For the most part, that's the only organization that's going to be on the inside of the bag. I have to keep things kind of simple. On the exterior, on the front face of the bag, I'm going to do a sleeker version of what we call a rainbow pocket, and probably some side water bottle pockets. More like sleeves that expand with the stretch woven. Next is to start drawing the seams on this 3D model and then breaking it apart. The next step is to start putting in seams. I think this is approximately the height. I'm trying to figure out the main zipper right now. And I'm kind of going for this type of shaping where it starts back here near where the shoulder pads are going to be, then comes up and around towards the front. So I cut that surface through there, and then I'm gonna make the seam. So now I have that seam on the surface, and you can see that it's not a super eloquent curve, but it's good enough for what I need it. So now I've got all those pattern pieces hopefully split apart. While I'm looking at this, I'm also figuring out how the bag's gonna go together. It's almost as if I'm sewing the backpack while I'm looking at the screen. It's very easy to sew yourself into a corner real fast. So I think I've got something that I can work with here. As you can see, I swapped screens. I've moved from the 3D software to the 2D software. I was able to extract those pieces from Rhino. This is what I got for my shell, and I'm just kind of going through and cleaning things up, checking dimensions. There is a little bit of manipulation between the file transfer. So just trying to make sure that the math lines up. What I have here is a representation of the pattern pieces that I need to make a closed three-dimensional shell, minus all the pockets and internals and things of that nature. So I'll sew all these pieces together. And then I have a 3D shape that I can hold in my hands and kind of check out the lines and make sure that nothing looks funky. Now we're ready to head over to the laser. Scrap fabric, I'll get into using the materials from Terre after this sizing exercise, and then we'll get it started. This is so much easier than tracing hard patterns onto fabric and cutting them out with scissors, and quite a bit faster. Here we go. And there's the pieces. You can tell already, a little nervous about how large the back pocket is going to be, but we'll see how it looks. The fun part, back to the sewing machine. This is the top, and the main zipper is going to go in right along this seam. But first, I have to sew together this other sub-assembly. So I'm picking an EDC bag, and I was thinking kind of on the smaller side, 18 to 20. It's kind of hard to tell right now. It's looking a little bit bigger than I had expected. We're gonna find out here shortly. That is one of the drawbacks of using the 3D modeling software. It's kind of difficult to tell scale on a small screen. I'm not gonna stuff it all the way out, but this will give me what I need to know. It's pretty large, in my opinion, for what I'm going for. Okay. I like the height. It's a little big. Going through and with the notes that I took there, just kind of making some pieces smaller, and then got to check the math again to make sure everything will go together. All right, folks. Don't know if you could tell, I was a little disappointed with how that turned out. I think in general, the pattern pieces and shapes are good. It's just turned out a little bit bigger than I wanted. Calling an audible here. I just made some pretty significant changes in the 2D pattern software. And I think before I use all these beautiful materials, I'm gonna build another shell and see how it goes. I think I've got it. I'm pretty confident, but we'll see what happens. All right, here we go. All right, round two. Looks better to me. We'll see what it looks like in 3D. All right, let's get to sewing. There's a saying here at the Mystery Ranch, gear, not art. Couldn't be anything further from the truth. Of course, function is number one, but we want it to look good too. All right, attempt number 2. I'm liking where it's at in 2D. Let's see what it looks like with some pillow stuffed into it. I can already tell that it's smaller. All right. That's kind of more what I had visualized. I think that looks pretty good. Front pocket, maybe still just a little bit tall. I'm liking it though. Getting a little tired. In a normal work week environment, I probably would have started over using the 3D software. I kind of took a chance there and it worked out. So pretty excited. Now I get to work on, I'm going to work on all the interior external pockets, get it all dialed in. To get to this point in a normal work week, it sometimes would take a week, 2 weeks. So I'm pretty proud of where I'm at right now, and I'm just going to keep pressing forward. Oh man, done with Rhino. I'm doing good on time. I think I'm out of Rhino. I'm into the 2D pattern software. I'm just gonna do some little details. I gotta break up the body panel where the yoke goes. I gotta pattern a computer sleeve for the inside. I think that's what's left to be, the side stretch woven water bottle pockets. And still thinking about where to use this material and what to use. I'm hoping that I can get all the materials cut out on the laser tonight. Then I could come in fresh tomorrow and just start sewing. All right, let's get going. All right, just a quick update. The patterning is done and I feel very relieved. I wouldn't say that I got a burst of energy, but it feels good to have that milestone out of the way. So now what I'm gonna do is, this whole time I've been thinking about how I'm gonna use these materials and which ones to use, and I think I have enough time I'm gonna try to incorporate all of these materials into this build in some way, shape, or form or another. Some of them might just be one piece, others might be hidden. I'm up to the challenge of trying to make this happen and still making a good looking backpack. All right, so we're back at the laser cutter. It's around 11 o'clock, staring at the computer all day. Pretty spent, feeling pretty good about where I'm at. To use a laser cutter is kind of something where I don't have to use my brain that much, so I'm just gonna get it done tonight so I can hopefully get some rest tonight and come in fresh in the morning and start knocking this out on the sewing machine. Three down, 14 to go. Just out of this TPU, I just made some little pull tabs for the ends of the zippers. These little guys here are gonna go on the zipper sliders as little pull tabs for those guys. Typically we use a little bit of 1/8" cord. I thought this would be kind of cool use of this material. Feeling pretty good. She's all cut out. Well, I think got all the material cut out. I think I'm gonna call it a night. Come in tomorrow fresh, start sewing, start putting this thing together. All in all, I think the day went really well. A couple minor mistakes. I got in a hurry. I didn't get my 3D model quite right. And the bag itself would have been fine. It was too big for what I was going for. So gonna get some sleep tonight and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Hello there, good morning. Welcome back to the ranch. I got here a little bit before 8 o'clock this morning. Most of my work should be at the sewing machine today. Kind of excited about that. I think I've got about 4.5 more hours. Last night I tied on the zip trash or the zipper pulls. And then this morning we got the lower pocket back with the detail sleeves and the zip strip for the front pocket completed. So I'm just gonna keep my head down and sew as quickly as possible. Found this really sweet logo. I think it's really gonna pop on there. It's kind of simple with the black background. And I really like that it has Bozeman, Montana underneath there. A lot of the newer ones don't have that. All right, it's about 10:15. I've been sewing away. Made a few mistakes, had to rip some seams, but I've got the bag, what we call the bag main done. There's the inside. You can see the pop of orange, kind of brightens it up. Got a stretch woven up here in that upper pocket. Got the side stretch woven water bottle pockets on there. I'm loving the front pocket. Right now, the general shape is really coming together. All right, at this point in time, I'm kind of proud to say I've used 8 of the Terre materials. Let's get back at it. Just taking a little break before that final seam. I think I'm doing good on time. Tired, but pretty excited to be where I'm at. Big accomplishment. Nice to get outside. It's really hot in Montana today. One more seam. All right, I definitely pushed that machine to its limits. Bag's inside out right now. Let's open her up. Yay. To pay homage to the Mystery Ranch heritage, I'm gonna be using the Futura yoke. It really is an iconic feature for the Mystery Ranch, along with the 3-zip and the nice frame. These are load lifters. I'm not sure that you necessarily need it on this small of a bag. The load lifters are kind of low on this bag, maybe something that I would improve upon. And then I've got the shoulder pad web. Thread them through. 1219. Sweet, fuck yeah. There's one last thing that this pack is missing. I did it. Tired. I didn't know if it was possible. Very happy with what I came up with. I think I had something like 22 minutes to spare. Is it perfect? No. Is it a first prototype? Absolutely. Being back on the production floor where I started 14 years ago, not knowing how to sew, not knowing materials, and to accomplishing something like this, pretty amazing. Sorry. I stuck with it. There were a couple hiccups, made quick decisions. Early on, I was asked what the most difficult thing was I thought it would be, and time management was one of those things. It really wasn't time management. It is when those hiccups show up. As a designer, you can get up, think about things, walk around, take your time, maybe move on to a different project, do something different. I had to go through all the options and pick what I thought was the best one and then just move forward. I started out with the idea in my head of an everyday carry backpack, mainly because I wanted something a little bit sleeker, something a little newer, something to show off what I've learned over the years. Looks pretty good from the front. When I look at it this way, it seems a little pointy that way. I'm pretty critical, so I might kind of try to soften that up a little bit so it was more pulled back a little bit. But all in all, pretty proud of myself. Of course, it's got a computer sleeve on the inside with 2 separate accesses. Got these nice stretch woven water bottle sleeves. So with the water bottle pockets out of the bag, I like how this lays relatively flat so it doesn't catch on things. One thing I didn't point out is a nice little haul loop there. It looks kind of cool, but this was a mistake also, but I just ran with it. It was the first prototype. That's what I do in a standard workday. I didn't put a waist belt on it. Typically with a bag like this, I don't use a waist belt, but I did use the Futura yoke and it carries really well. Pretty voluminous front pocket with some organization on the inside. A little sleeve pocket at the top for small items like your cell phone or some keys. CPU pulls and the pull tabs, zipper pull tabs are kind of unique and creative. And the fact that I used 14 materials from Terre and actually 3 more from the Mystery Ranch, including the foam and plastic for a total of 17 is pretty incredible.
So now that you've spent the past 24 hours making this pack, there's one thing missing. What do you want to call this thing? Yep.
Oh, that's not my department. How about the JPB? Those are my initials.
JPB it is.
Thanks. What the Mystery Ranch means to me. Family. This is a cool place. All the people that I've met from all walks of life, some pretty quirky. It's just been a crazy experience. And also the people that I've met in the military and wildland fire communities to help me to improve their work environment, hopefully. That's very important to me. And I do believe that the Mystery Ranch makes their lives a bit easier. And when you have a group of people like the ranchers, all doing something different, but working together for the same cause, it's just a beautiful thing. And I wouldn't change a thing. This is John Bachman from Mystery Ranch Backpacks, signing off from Carryology's Maker's Mystery Box. I'd like to thank Terre one last time. It's been amazing. Introducing the JPB pack.
Carryology is proudly backed by our friends at Bellroy. To learn more, visit our About Us page, link in the description.